Libra, I have channeled some things for you. Let's go on an adventure. This is going to be a Sun in Libra or Rising in Libra type reading, or 7th house aspects will probably be significant. I channeled that you will be overwhelmed with success at the end of all this. And back to the roots, remind me too that I'm doing my laundry. Are you doing laundry? Phantom amethyst is highly significant, or phantom crystals in general. Time for people to kiss your feet. Let's not forget who our creator is, as above, so below. We got the birch, which is the number 0. I'm gonna have bad lighting. I'm gonna start over. I'm not ready. This is a fail. This is a fail, Libra. Should I start over or should I not? Let's roll with the punches, shall we? Yeah, because Libra, I was preparing for this reading, trying to shake off Virgo energy, because doing these is harder than I thought it would be. And well, I've got some signs and symbols after my meditation. Of course, we're gonna have a lot of noise pollution because we need a little bit of light. Yeah, I'm not resetting for anyone, and neither are you, Libra. You are the Queen of Heaven, blessing from the Divine Empress of the Skies. This is a blessing from Isis. I have redone my whole set because I like to shake things up if I'm not traveling. Because I want to manifest my tropical life. So I have my tropical flowers here with some tropical crystals, minerals, and this pomegranate I got myself for €2. So I've been setting myself up to be cozier in life, to be way more at home with my body and my surroundings, actual home. Let's pause this for a second. That's better. We have exactly 7 minutes. And we're doing it all, Libra. You're doing it all. You have been in stagnation for too long, and that energy was really depressive and weighing on your heart. It was just horrible to shift into your energy. Sorry if I don't want to offend anybody, but yeah, you were going from the Hangman to the Emperor. So you were suspended for a long time in this place of rebuilding yourself, especially in your masculinity, your masculine side, because the Emperor comes out as Aries energy, but is that Mars Aries, right? It's the whole god of war. So if you're a masculine, you could be resonating with certain qualities of transcending ego, from being this, you know, so you have Ares and Antares, right? It's kind of like rivals in the war. So you were trying really hard to to get your power back, but you had to go through a whole awakening, a whole timing of suspension. You could be enjoying watching sunsets lately. That could be something that is filling you back up with energy, and something is probably inside your natal chart, like a Mars position that is fiery, or a Mars in Pisces could be significant here. Ooh, we also have the Fool that turned around in my deck. I didn't even notice. You have a whole new shift of energy. You're going to... Okay, so before we transmute this energy, because I already did it, now I'm going back into your energy, right? So Libra, you're beautifying your spaces, you're beautifying yourself, you are investing in yourself. It's like your favorite relationship is the one you have with self lately. I don't even know why, but this card was left behind. But Libra, you weren't left behind. You are the flower of life. You have divine creativity and manifestation. So you have manifested you're manifesting. You're manifesting something in your life where you're coming back to life. That's the feeling. Yeah, we have the Queen of Swords on the bottom of the deck. This is just completely your energy, and the Six of Coins and the Page of Coins. So you are moving through your life quite balanced, maybe even financially. For those, it doesn't really matter, but you're willing to invest now your energy that you have worked on in projects, in collaborations, in new joining workforces or whatever, just doing the thing. And the Fool and the Emperor kind of have that same Aries energy, which is this, unpredictable yet child frolicking through meadows and jumping off of, rocks while going on a hike and running uphill and all of these things, where you will now have so much more energy to deal with, to invest into these new beginnings with the Fool. So I was told by the cards, by the spirit, by the universe, whatever you want to call it, to keep it simple as it comes to your reading, because I was going through this energy shifting from Virgo to Libra, where it goes from analyzing to research. That was also what I channeled for that Virgo reading and the reading prior to that one. And as I traversed into the Libran energy, it was like relationship topics kept coming up, certain unprocessed emotions kept coming up. I did a lot of crying, but I'm not, in my cycle there where it's normal to cry. And I was like, whose emotions are these? Are these mine? And it was like, well, yes, because the air comes in where I lack Libra in my natal chart, but the Libran house is really strong and it comes to relationships. So you could be closing out a specific cycle in your life when it comes to certain relationships. It could be your old crews, groups, partnerships, businesses, just leaving the whole thing behind. Because in the meantime, I was also scouting my next adventure. And that makes me so giddy. So I bought this shirt, which is actually like an off shoulder. I don't want to be vulgar here, but it's so angelic. So I was like, this is such a Libra shirt, right? For my feminines out there. And my masculines as well. It's quite airy and, lightweight. And that's the Libran energy. Libra is quite, it's direct opposite of Aries. And we just, if you're watching this in a timely manner, we just had a Libra full moon, was it? I'm on a different timeline. I don't even know which day it is, honestly. So, confirmation. I'll just go get the laundry and I'll be right back on the train tracks. What I wanted to say was, hi. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, leave reading ideas in the comments if you want me to do, or if you're enjoying these things that I'm posting. But yeah, Libra, you are expanding your energy by being nurtured at home, being in that safe space. You're gaining a lot of peace. Like I had a lot of chills on my back. So you could be in the need of cutting off certain karmic cords when it comes to these relationships to truly liberate yourself. And, you know, I didn't have to go far into channeling. I just kind of tapped in and I got a bunch of signs and a bunch of synchronicities. And it was just this very heavy energy that I had to process. But in the meantime, I was getting excited about my life again. Watching the forest just explode in the new leaves. Everything just opened up and the energy of spring came out. And also the birch. Yeah, the birch. I didn't check the little booklet because it's not always timing for that. So I opened this one and channeled a bunch from just shuffling through my channelings when I was speaking to myself about narcissists and psychopaths. So I'm just trying to pinpoint that we've been dealing a lot, all of us, but this Libran energy, whoever resonates or will resonate with this, it takes time to process things. It takes a lot of time because all you want is to have the freedom to explore, to lollygag and frolic, and to be this, you know, your own father. It doesn't have to mean anything based on gender, but the emperor is kind of that materialized divine masculine embodied, and he's the one that is also conscious of all of his elements. So Libra, it's time to reconnect with your own circuit, because the weighing, or, you know, to get to justice is a long and heavy road that might not be just for you. If you have been feeling vengeful or envious or processing, not feeling these emotions again because you have nothing to feel them, you have nothing to feel that for. It's like this pain and this heart heaviness isn't your fault, because you're the one that wants things to be kind of put away in compartments, and almost feels like that, you know, this Libra energy has way more perfectionism than any Virgo. So it's breaking the astrology. You are transcending yourself, Libra, is what I'm getting from all of this energy. Because you were doing or are going to be starting to do more planning, more gathering of resources, weighing your options as to liabilities and assets, and how you want to be presenting yourself. Because you well, I picked a stone and looked at it. It's one of the oldest ones in my collection as to when I obtained it, and I noticed it's actually a phantom amethyst with a jade bear, where I thought it was a normal poor quality amethyst with a glass bear. It's from Canada, so maybe some of you are tuning in from Canada or might be resonating with living or wanting to live or working or, you know, migrating, whatever, to or from Canada. Or you could have just that connection to that freedom of nature, freedom of expressing yourself, because, you know, you may feel a lot better in the circles and surroundings of a bigger conglomerate type energy where, you know, you wouldn't be the odd one out no matter how you dressed, even if you look like an angelic pirate. So, yes, I said it to myself. I don't know who was thinking that, but thank you. It was funny. But the card that I saw earlier, I didn't even want to pick this deck. I just use it usually for personal self reads, because I do connect with the energy of Isis and a bunch of other energies. But Libra, it's like, you know, not many of these zodiac readings needed me to channel and write, or to need an extra confirmation, or to need, we just went with the energy, right? And it may have been really hard for you to go with the energy of your surroundings, of where you came from, of transcending and ascending all of those old patterns and ways of being, right? So it's like you may have learned about certain themes or certain things that are going on in the world around you, and you have just shifted your perception or perspective, or you're working on doing that, where you're asking yourself, how can I get to where I want to be? And this Libran energy was just making me flow in a lot of femininity. So I'm getting, even for the guys watching this that are full on masculine, it's also this energy of, you have weighed all of your options as to how over masculinity is actually affecting your relationships, where you need to tap into your receptive feminine side, to your angelic, well, I'm not saying that, you know, women are angels and men are, you know, it's not what I wanted to say, but maybe that's something somebody's thinking, like, down the line. So masculines, you are getting in tune with who you are as a balanced person, is all I wanted to say, and how much more of a masculine man you are if you are tapped into your femininity. We have the Justice on the bottom of this deck. I just shuffle my decks before readings and kind of go with what I'm going to randomly pick or be guided to by spirit to use. So as I was being asked to keep it simple, stupid, and then from this deck that I have, it's a little Timu deck version of that. I don't even know which one it is. So clouds were rolling, but today is kind of like no chemtrails and just a little lacy clouds, but it's quite blue outside actually. And it's like, I don't even know if the spirit, the universe, is mocking me, or am I just being asked to take a look, right? Because it might be related to the reading. So I looked, and there was a cloud that looked exactly like the Simplicity card from that deck, which has this feather that is just floating on a blue sky. And that's the energy that you are going into, Libra, in this next season. You're going from the 7 of Pentacles to the 10 of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. And I'm not just randomly picking these cards and making shit up, Libra. Even if you are on the skeptical side, or you're just tuning in to be like, let's see what this bitch has to say. Libra, you're coming into the energy of, you will have a lot to celebrate. I should have my book of channeling open, but rewind to the beginning. You know, I said it when I said it. So yeah, 7 of Pentacles came out again. You have waited for this a long time, for many cycles and many circles. You have traversed and weighed out all of your options, Libra, but what you are leaving behind it has no comparison to what you are entering, because no matter your gender, you are focusing on yourself. You are allowing yourself to be a bit more, quote unquote, superficial or care about your looks, but it's also about the way you feel. So my shoulder started itching because there's apparently it's stretchy. It has stretchy sleeves, so the plastic of the stretchy part was rubbing into me because I'm allergic to plastic. So you could also be resonating with the fact that you are, quote unquote, allergic to anything that is fake. You could be very resonant with that, observing nature and observing how people are also creations of nature, and you have your own beauty in your eyes. You have your own, aesthetics when it comes to people and to your life and your surroundings, your home, your workspaces, or where you take yourself to liberate yourself from the chains of the matrix, right? And you will have a lot to celebrate, because no matter the fact that you still might be waiting for these results to circle around, the seasons, you're waiting for the seasons to pass so you see your seeds grow, right? That's the Seven of Pentacles in explanation. It's having that patience and that awareness that your blessings are coming in, the fruition of your work is being transmuted through the ethers, depending on how you look at yourself, because everything comes from a singular point, all creation. Yeah, I'm getting hungry. So you could also be getting hungry for having the work that you celebrate, having the people around you that you can work with on the other hand as well. Because I'm putting these cards down on my lap and you can't see, but I'll try to raise my knees, but I have them like this. I don't want to use too much space. I want to keep it simple, right? Maybe that's your energy, Libra. You don't want to use too much space. You want to celebrate and be celebrated. You are a very fun and very lighthearted and a very kid-like person. You are very happy-go-lucky and just tra-la-lee, tra-la-la, I'm the fool, off the cliff we go now. But as these cards come together, it looks as though the fool is jumping into his masculinity. The child is transmuting the energy to grow up, to become a man. And to become a man, you need to go through an awareness check, let's say. And I don't know why I'm speaking very softly and very, maybe because I don't want my vocal cords to break, but it doesn't matter. You are jumping into breaking the square apart, right? You have been living in this prison, let's say, or mental prison, right? And you needed an awakening to first exit the mental prison, and then you have a whole on the other side of the gate type of energy where, yeah, for some, the awakening falls away instantly, but for you, Libra, no. Because you want to hear what this bitch has to say. Where am I going with this? So you could be very like tactile or strategic or, cautious or, I don't know, planning and observing, yet very analytical and research-like. You do your research. But nonetheless, the things that you do or the things that you want to be doing that fill up your soul and probably help others as well, whatever it is, it's you transitioning from you know, you have grown up physically, now you have to grow, and you had to grow up emotionally, now you have to grow up spiritually, or you want to grow up on certain aspects of your life because you want to transition from a kid to the emperor, right? The ruler of your kingdom, the ruler of your own family, because Four of Wands is also family. It represents the gate, the portal of celebration, of coming together. And it's usually family, that soul family. You know, it can be friends, strangers, acquaintances, riding the bus, train, commuting wherever, going around the world. And okay, so side note, I was doing research for myself and for my life, and what I want to do is move to the Azores, which is a Portuguese islands in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and that is my happy place, and I want to be a tropical plant there. And yeah, you could have been planning your own type of escape, or you could have been envisioning your own business plan of life, how you're going to go from doing all these stupid side quests and running around like a child. And we have many different types of children, and child is an energy of, you know, we have divine children, we have orphaned children, we have all these archetypal characteristics of ways that you can be a child. And the process and the progress of growing up from that child that you were, you could have been a wounded child, you could have been an orphaned child, you know, it really depends on the energy that comes from your primary surroundings and the things you had to go through to get to where you are today, where you are an independent person, emotionally, financially, whichever you thrive in. You conquered one. I saw 27 on the timer, highly significant. But these Libran energies of being almost a bit too perfectionistic, it's a really bad way to go about calling Libras, because your analytical skills and your ways of research and ways of setting up your environment is that of a genius. You're a very creative person, and you're very surrounded by angels, especially when you're feeling low and when you are feeling like you want to surrender. The God, the universe doesn't want you to ever surrender, Libra, because what you are doing is bringing in hope, bringing in that faith in humanity that, you know, maybe we should all be more like Libra, a bit more calm, a bit more calculating. Yeah, because I got the, sorry, I didn't show you. I got the Knight of Cups and the Two of Pentacles, but I was thinking either Tower or Two of Pentacles. So I guess let's take the Tower as well and talk about it, shall we? Yeah, because on the bottom of the deck, as we stop, we have the Ace of Wands. And it does include walking away to see your ships come in, to see your messages, to see your boosts of energy, to see your boosts of subscribers, to see your boost of creative force, to see your boost of sexual energy, and so on and so forth, right? Schmexual energy. So because you are transmuting past relationships, it's probably the hardest weighing on your heart, just because, you know, you have been wounded, you have been hurt so many times. This is for my singles, so it's giving me kind of Virgo energy for some reason still. Even though you have a lot of fire and a lot of air, there's something that is blocking the third eye, that's blocking your crown opening. Somebody maybe for some part of the collective still affecting your lives. Could be parents, could be siblings, could be ex-partners, could be... It doesn't have to mean that they are necessarily directly in your life communicating to you, but their energy is still around you, shutting you off from expressing yourself. That's also probably why I had to take a bunch of meditation and chanting and karaokeing and soft speaking until now, to get to that part of myself as a reader where I can transmute and give you this energy back. It's like, give me, Libra. I take all of your weight, crush it, give it back to you cleansed. So yeah, 31, 13 could also be significant. But we have the 0 and the 0, the birch and the fool. So you have completed a cycle, right? You have went through the whole tree of life. You have went through the whole, Kabbalah. You have went through the whole growing up era, growing and glowing up era. But it had this heavy Piscean energy that weighed down. Well, I'm still getting kind of ballet shoes from this, so maybe some of you could be into dancing, but you were, stripped of all. You were like Jesus, where he was at the beginning of the Bible. He was stripped of his purple cloak, pieces of garments that he wore. So Libra, trust your creator, because no matter how much people have tried to strip you of your bear with me, selenite. No matter how much people try to affect your third eye, your crown, and all of your abilities, you have waited patiently, and you have been strategic. You have been investing solely in yourself. You could also resonate with the celibacy energy as well, and this purity, because this white top does represent energetically lightness and purity and innocence, right? So as I'm coming into your life as an angel, you are transmuting this energy, because, mind you, selenite is a stone to use with children, because it's such a soft stone. You can easily crush it or dent it or scratch it. However, it has the most gentlest and the most purifying capabilities because of its softness. So Libra, what I'm getting from your energy is that people have underestimated the fact that even though you might have had a difficult childhood, or you could have been bullied or growing up, or you could have been, your heart was probably rare to be acknowledged, and you either resonate with the energy of playing alone and having your room as your sacred space. You could have gone through a lot of these towers and a lot of these jugglings here, coming out with the Tower and the Two of Pentacles. You were investing your energy, your beautiful loving energy, right? You were investing it into this, and then this is a card of investing. And even though you come from the energy of Four of Wands and, you know, wanting to have the right people around you, wanting to have the right relationship or work on your friendships or your relationships or the ways that you connect. So I'm getting this energy that it could have been a hard time connecting with anyone but yourself, because you had a lot of purifying to do, because you had to look at your seeds grow, and you had time to assess also. You know, if we calculate the pentacles, this is the Nine of Pentacles, but it is devised by you making a choice. The reason of the difference between the Seven of Pentacles and it's like, yeah, bear with me. So Seven of Pentacles, yeah, it's this guy is dissatisfied with, it's not enough, right? You want more, you want faster, bigger, whatever, right? That's the old energy. And also Two of Pentacles, this one or that one, this one or that one, you know, or juggling two jobs or two best friends that were both, you know, unloyal, or whatever your situation is. You still have the Nine of Pentacles, but the difference in going from these Nine of Pentacles of being split in energy and cards to the actual Nine of Pentacles is making a decision, right? You first have to drop one of these or know how to balance it, right? So, for instance, if somebody in your life was balancing two wives, let's say, let's go extreme. Somebody's balancing two wives and they cannot give to these two people equally, right? Even if they are polyamorous, all of them, and agree to the thing. Where you invest your energy, your time, your nervous system, your brain space, right? It's like trying to tend to two gardens. It's the energy. I don't know why I said two wives. Maybe that's something that somebody could resonate with, but it's about you making a choice what you are willing to put up with. I chose an extreme example just to not, you know, to be relatable, but to not be resonant too much. Because the energy that you were giving to was that of an egotistical person. Again, Aries, Scorpio energy. This is, what is it? Mars. This is the card of Mars. Whereas this is the card of Aries. And this is the card of Uranus. But also it has Aries energy and Aquarius energy. So you could be resonating with Pisces, Aquarius, Scorpio, Aries in your other placements. But these towers had to come down. They are the towers of overworking your emotional body, overworking your passion itself. You were investing in people that were looking out for only themselves and not for you, because you are pure, you are giving. Nothing. This guy has a pair of wings on his head. Nothing can close out or liberate your intuition, Libra. Only God can do that for you. And what you are getting is a whole new beginning, a whole new start, a whole new relationship, a whole new job, a whole new energy. And with that new energy that you have transmuted. Something just flew by me. I saw it. I see everything. No, but seriously, I see everything. Sniper. Gamer. So yeah, you could be, for some that could be resonant. You could be a gamer, or you like to snipe people, or do the shooters and the hooters. I'm joking. The Ace of Cups fell out, and then a bunch of cards turned around, and I was like, nope, we're not dealing with that energy at all. It's all reversed for no reason. And Libra, you're not letting yourself be reversed for no reason, because what I just almost dropped was a whole chunk of cards with the Seven of Swords on the head of the snake. And underneath that is the Seven of Cups. We'll leave the whole deck there. We'll move to the future. It's the Ace of Cups. Look at it. The doves, the purity, your fountain of unlimited power and emotion and receptivity, and willing to give and willing to take because you love giving even more back. That's your energy, Libra. Now let's see. What else? Six of Wands. Success. That's literally success. Success. Great success. Great success. Ooh. Okay, so the Lovers, the Strength, and the Ten of Wands turned around, and I'm being pointed to Temperance and Three of Wands, so a lot of fire energy. Gemini, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, but it's just a timeline of what you're leaving behind. So you put a lot of your force, a lot of your energy into whatever you're leaving behind, and you have been probably transmuting a lot of childhood trauma as well, because you could have been running into your childhood bullies, or you're just on your own frequency, Libra, where you're just going through life like this fool, this child just running across the gardens of Eden. You're making Earth your heaven, whereas people are where people are still willing to side-eye you. You don't even notice them, and you just enrich them with even more energy, because that's you. You're a giver, but you're the one to be balanced, right? You're the one that has to stop expecting that people are going to return anything. But that never stopped you. Like, the fact that people haven't reciprocated energy or time or money, or just being grateful for things. Sorry, I'm Slavic. But, and, seeing you for who you are, because you are a lover and a beloved. You are taming the beast. Whatever it is, you are just taming the beast. Whoever your opponent was, whoever your oppressor was with the Ten of Wands, they're the ones that are going to go on with their life being burdened by what they have done. Not you. You have a lot of this Leo energy, so you could be going into being a lot more expressive with your external looks now that maybe if you're watching this in the Northern Hemisphere or wherever you're watching from, it's just this transition from black and white to color, or from wearing baggy to wearing something that suits your body type, or wearing your hair different, or doing a new beard style, or whatever it is, right? Because you're putting the hard work with the Three of Wands and the Temperance you're putting the hard work into your balance. Because Temperance is representing Sagittarius energy. It's, again, this travel. Even if you are just meditating and astrally projecting, or astrally projecting by journaling back into your childhood to repair and have certain conversations with yourself to that child. You're speaking to your inner child with those conversations with yourself. and it's repairing a lot of your wing quality. Your angelic seraphic wing qualities are being like I'm seeing the feathers regrow by you just doing things, just going with it, like we did in the beginning, right? That was the combustion of mine and Libran energy, where yes, I'm an Aries and I do not really resonate with Libra energy per se in my natal chart. It's not found, right? But we all feel these energies, even if we are lacking them, right? We can see energies or emotions without feeling them if we are in tune with the ethers and if we are balanced within ourselves, meaning, you know, we've working with our childhood traumas, and we've worked with transcending a bunch of concepts of life and wanting to live different, not the way that we were told to need to live, even if it's just for a short period of time. Somebody was affecting you through a relationship per se, or it took some years to move out of your family home where everybody was jealous of you and they saw your beauty, they saw your hustle, they saw your grind, they saw everything, and it was never enough, you know. And you have, like a sponge, took all of those emotions within you and became angry in your life. And you have also transmuted those energies where you're no longer angry at feeling like that as a child, because you were just a child. You didn't know where to hide or where to feel safe. You didn't know how to thrive and how to get away. And it could have also been that up until this point in life, or very recently, you thought you might never get away from certain ways of thinking and being and doing. Whereas now you are, you know, being elevated into the higher states of consciousness, where it's a lot easier for you to shake off that energy that is not yours and assess by writing, by singing, by, you know, crying through songs, or by rapping it out, or it's just you're coming back into your energy, however it is that you come back to yourself, and you're putting in the hard work, because this Three of Wands guy is rotating rope, but what it creates is kind of like three blades, kind of like katana shaped. So sorry, I'm telepathically communicating with my friends, my OGs, shout out. So these three blades come out. Don't watch if you're not a Sun or Virgo, and Sun or rising in Libra. This is not for you. No. This is for anybody that resonates. I'm joking, with a very small percentage of the collective. Come on in. We're getting funky up in this bitch. So you have stepped in your emotions, whereas you were previously stepping away from feeling anything because you have given up on repairing certain relationships. But that doesn't mean that there aren't relationships to build and to have. You just haven't been around the correct circle of your soul family, which is coming in for you. Mind you, Queen of Swords showed herself again, confirming that you're still here, Libra. You are transmuting, you are putting in the hard work, you are putting in this Sun in Aries energy, or Sun or Jupiter in Sagittarius energy, where you want to explore anthropology of the ways humans are in different ways, like psychology, biology, anatomy. You want to understand how people did certain things back in the day when they didn't have all these books and all of this internet and all of this information, right? And now that the information is going through the ethers a lot faster, not that just we have been polluted by the information literally being in the clouds, even if we can't see them, doesn't mean it's not being transmuted through our pockets, right? We're making this net of pollution with frequency. That's why I could never go to work day shift. Like, I cannot be going the same way that people are going. Mind you, I'm an Aries, and well, and I really like to, work when people are sleeping and sleep when people are working, because I am too sensitive to be up when other people are up, or be at home when other people are at home, because I'm sorry if you hear all of the noise coming from that side. I also have the microphone on that side, and the window, at least maybe the birdies will help a little bit. But there hasn't been any consideration when it comes to you, Libra, even though people have been, taking care of you and what they deem as taking care of you. It could have been hurting you more than benefiting you. I will take a small little pause. I should end the video, actually. So I guess this is it, Libra. We'll leave it here. I guess I don't want to transmute any negative energy to you. So I will just keep it here and process it on my own timing. I hope you enjoy this reading. Again, connect with your own circuit by putting your hands together in different mudras. You can try those if you're interested in energy transmissions being, connecting you back. Those are really cool for understanding that you have your own life pulse, even though people have given birth to you. 52 on the timer, 7 could be resonating with the number 77 or seeing mirror numbers a lot. However, Libra, let them watch, let them hate, let them have their own opinions. You not expressing yourself the way you have incarnated to express yourself and to be your beautiful perfectionistic self that has a lot of, you want to do things your way, and you're not letting distractions get the best of you anymore, because you are hyper focused on doing the work. However many distractions or errors or trials you have to do, whatever you have went through is now a good station of solid energy. I'm seeing a transmutation station from Elder Scrolls, and also I saw a dark pyramid, so you are highly protected by the divine. Nobody can see inside what you're doing, Libra. Nobody can see or predict what else you're gonna post, how else you're going to express yourself. Next time that people see you, you're like this enigma. You're so intriguing, and I don't want to dive too deep into your energy because I don't want to, release all of your secrets, but I enjoy this energy because it's that being depressed your whole life, and now it's your time to shine, and you're doing it, and you're expressing yourself. I'm looking at my aquarels, so you could be painting or coloring or doing arts and crafts or doing bracelets, or just this feminine energy, male or female, whatever you are, aliens, unicorns, mermaids, sirens, giants, everybody, welcome. But Libra, you are investing into yourself with all these herbal infusals, energetic or real, and you're painting your own life finally, or again after a long time. There's this burst of energy that is coming your way as we speak. If you haven't started feeling it yet, it's on your way. As you listen to this message to the end, it's definitely coming your way, Libra. Whoever is watching and resonating with the storyline, it's also for you. Even if you don't have your sun or rising in Libra, will be a bit lenient as to transitioning through the full moon, and balancing that Aries Libra energies. Okay, yeah, just a little side note here for those that are tuning in from the full moon energy, you know, timely watchers, timely collective. This one is for you. So you are balancing your 7th house, right? Libra is the 7th house. And as you're balancing your relationships, who you share your energy with, platonic, romantic, family, all of that, right? You are plucking away all the bad feathers because new ones will grow. That's what I was feeling. And you're tearing this muck off, and you're just, you know, do this. Like you're throwing off energy, like flicking it away. It's just, you know. But preserve your energy. Don't overextend in people's lives just because you are craving a connection or you are used to having a connection. Because what happens is when we are not healed, and full moon in Libra is this, you know, highly potent feminine energy of the moon, and Cancer, which is maternal and protective and ever flowing, you know, it's the ebb and flow of life, of emotions, of hormones, of life force, and the ocean that your emotions are. And Libra coming in that full moon energy is opposite the new moon in Aries, and that's the cycle we go through each month, right? So if you're watching this in April, when I'm posting this, today is April 11th. However, we have a new moon in the sign that is celebrating the birthday that month. And then the opposite sign of the celebratory zodiac sign, so let's say Aries, is opposite of Aries is Libra, and that's the axis, right? So we are flowing through different energetic axes, I don't know. Too Slavic to know. So we are in the energy of having these heightened emotions, right? Because full moon is the peak. It's the sun showing all of the craters, the light of the sun, right? So the masculine has showed within you all of your feminine qualities that are super great to integrate and be integrated and to have been integrated within you. Whereas on the other side, let's be honest, Aries is, you know, can be selfish. So what we have been transmuting, and now after the full moon, we are releasing the energy of the, you know, self and I am and ego and, you know, being focused on me, towards how can I share without spilling over or being overspilled energetically. And what the collective has figured out, or is figuring out energetically now, is that there's a balance that comes in relationships, or let's say like this: balanced relationships only come when both persons are balanced within, are content and happy within, and then they can try to work on being happy with each other. That's why relationships are hard work. No matter if you had 2 in your life, 0 in your life, or you had 17 in your life or more, I don't know and I don't care, right? We are transmuting the energy of these people are making my head hurt. I just got a symbol, or a protection symbol, in my mind's eye right after I got kind of attacked in my third eye, and I got a pinch right here. So doing like massages around your eyebrows is highly beneficial for you to transmute the energy through your limbs. You know, be gentle and be harder in certain ways, and massaging your jaw because you have been clenching it for your whole life. And shaking off the energy is not just doing fitness, right? It's or doing mantras and singing Hare Krishna, right? It's way more complicated because it's way more personal, and I am an advocate of each person having their own right to believe in all topics, either it be politics, spirituality, relationships, or whatever. Even in astrology we might not agree. Even in tarot communities we might not agree with each other. Sometimes we say certain things that were channeled or read wrongly. I'm just seeing a collective of light workers catching up to this reading, or these readings down the line, where, you know, the energy of the higher dimensions is omnipresent, ever fluent, right? Your spirals and your circles are interconnected, as are your relationships with others interconnected with the self. And Libra being the Justice card, right? Libra is represented with the Justice card. I'm seeing it in a funky deck I haven't used on the channel yet. It's the Thoth deck, so you could be connecting with Egyptology. But Libra, you are you are definitely the Justice. Libra full moon energy is the peak of relationship justice, because also what it is the pink moon, right? In March we have pink moon. It's a very twin flamey portal, and it has been birds. It has been that for a very long time in the tarot community. However, the way that people manifest is hurting them. Exactly, birds. Libra, or whoever is resonating with this message, you will quiet some people with your truth, with your justice. But it's not being self-righteous. It's not about being egotistical. It's not about saying, I told you so, I knew this was gonna happen, blah blah. Because if you say, I knew this was gonna happen, then you are the one that manifested it, and you're in part to blame, right? However, what I wanted to say is there's a different type of balancing that is going on within the community of people in the process of ascension, people in their third process of ascension, and people just beginning. And we have space for all, because, you know, whatever you don't understand, I'm willing to explain as to how I perceive it. And how I perceive it and how you perceive it is probably different to certain degrees. We don't have all the knowledge and all the wisdom. We are learning together. But we need to learn from correct vessels. We need to learn from the proper media. We need to learn about what's going on in this world from that heart perspective. And I just want to shout out Richard Medhurst. He is a journalist and one that is very honest as to what is going on in the world, and he's coming out with, God bless his soul, may he ever be protected. He is doing the right thing in his own way of telling the truth. I don't know why I'm getting this energy, but his passion to report on current petrodollar and, you know, what's going on in the Middle East is giving me so much life. I can't even explain it to you guys. It's like whenever we come across somebody passionate about what they do, we either get envious or jealous about, you know, people having power of whatever they have accumulated through life or however they have been supported. You know, everybody has their own path. And what I'm trying to say here is he, even though he's not a tarot reader that I frequently watch, I'm keeping his content to watch in like sections because I want to know what's going on in the world. I want his soul to be shielded from any negativity, you know, and also his past is not that of an average English boy because he was born in Damascus and grew up in Syria, if I understood correctly, because his parents were diplomats. And, you know, Libra also has this diplomatic energy, and I was getting pictures of him in my mind's eye because it doesn't matter what you do. You know, you could be wanting to be a journalist or some sort of content creator, because we did have the energy at the beginning of tumbling over stuff and I don't have the right lighting and, you know, noise is going on. But I'm pushing through, right? I'm transmuting your energy here as well as mine. Let's be real. However, what I want to say is because I'm watching different types of content. I'm watching different types of content creators because I don't watch TV because I know I'm not going to get my information correctly there. It's going to be a really old National Geographic documentary that I've seen go around for 15 years, but they won't show the current state of that same space on the planet Earth. And that's what I actually care about, right? So Richard Medhurst, he is such a pure soul that has gone through a bunch of stuff as well, trying to do his job well. He was restricted in many ways, going through his journey of journalism, and, you know, now has a big channel, and I've just discovered it in, you know, a couple of months ago. Happy Ramadan, back to that timeline, or next year if you're watching this next year and you celebrate Ramadan. Happy Ramadan, Ramadan Kareem. What I want to say is, no matter what we do or want to do to share our heart and what we are passionate about, as long as we are balanced within the timelines from childhood to now, and we can look back and be, you know, look back and forth and be super proud of where we came from to where we are now, even though it may not be the best or blah blah, or we thought it was going to be something different, something on a different timeline, you know, taking responsibility for your own manifestations and also for your own passions to be actionalized and realized in this material world is a whole different spectrum of doing something, right? You may not have all the gear, you may not have a ring light. I had to pay with DV for this ring light and a bunch of these crystals, to be honest with you. And if I could, I would exchange the energy instantly to not have had that. But on the other side, you know, 7,000 euros of credit later, I still have 4,000 and something to pay off, but maybe somebody will feel connected and want a personal reading, right? Or I can share my heart and my soul and my passion and inspire a bunch of people with what I do. Even if I, you know, sometimes wear a hoodie and sometimes wear a cute dress with my hair down and a little mascara and a lip tint. I only have my eyebrows brushed, right? So it's not about that perfectionism. I was doing this for you, right? Because I want you to have something to look at and the little trinkets and, you know, the little lights. Look at the kind of little lights, but I wanted to do something yesterday with the lights, and I thought Libra might like lights and candles and stuff. And then it's just, you know, I have to have a ring light and it doesn't look as good as I see it, you know, because my camera is just a phone. So, you know, in life you have to roll with the punches. You get a log rolling against you. You better learn how to jump. You better train your legs. Because if you just stagnate and wallow in that energy that I have wallowed in, of that lower timeline Libra, of where we're coming from, right? All of those negative past relationships and dire situations and things we had to go through up until this point of being, you know, disappointed in how things turned out. We are now laughing at being happy that the things turned out the way they did. And yeah, if you made it this far, then this is definitely for you. Affirm it, receive it, take it to your heart with all your might, all of your fire within you. Even if you don't have a single fire placement in your chart, look at the fire houses, like the 1st, the 5th, and the 9th house. Planets that are in those houses, if you don't have fire, are highly significant. Or if you don't have Libra in your chart, look at the 7th house. You may have certain significant planets or even a stellium of planets, which means a bunch of different planets, you know, in conjunction in one house, you know, in a certain angle of the sky that were directly looking at you, guarding you. You know, and those topics of those planets are highly important in your life. And if you are still struggling with what your path is, what your passion is, it could be found in these planets. So, Libra, that's all, folks. An hour and 15 minutes, huh? But I love this reading. It's I can rinse it off now. I'm so liberated. I have a hard time breathing, but I know it will clear. So, just trust in the spirit, trust that it will all clear for you as the skies are clear today, with a bunch of simplicity, feather-like clouds, no chemtrails, you know, manifest your own timeline. Look at the houses that you want to live in, even if they cost $1 million. Look at the parts of land with, you know, water on them, or wedding venues, even if you're not in a relationship. If you always wanted, if you're like me, and you always wanted to get married and wanted that husband, that ride or die, Bonnie Clyde, just like we're in this forever and I'm loyal to you and I don't see anything else because you're like so passionate about something, I don't even care how you look, right? If you're that type of Libran energy, so 7th house placements, just look at the beautiful dresses, look at the rings, and do your Pinterest boards. Or if you're a guy, I don't know what Libra guys do, but you know, whatever you're doing, it's okay to brag about it on the internet and show people what you do, even if it's a girly thing, like you write poetry or something, you know. But poetry can be rapped, so it's gangsta, right? Or you could be painting with aquarels and you're a very, you know, wanting to be very masculine guy and, you know, nothing can faze me, blah blah, I have it all. You know, why wouldn't you post those stupid fish you drew and we can all enjoy seeing it on our feeds because you chose these fish to be different colors than fish usually are? Or it's like, I don't know, it's not about the coloring or the painting, it's about you taking something that is yours and painting it with your own color, right? It's about creating the spaces for within yourself for relationships to come in, or for projects to come in, or collaborations. And you know, at this point you're highly aware of person's intent, so they won't be able to fool you. No person is going to get through your scales of balance, of righteousness. You could also be doing legal matters. I'm hearing those will go great. So have no fear, have no worry, have no doubt. Whatever your truth is, you have to speak it. You have to be like, yeah, I have had a hard past, I wanted to say pastitude. I don't even know, that's not a word. But you're like, you know, you're making up your own words, you're making up your own rhymes to the rhythm of your own life. And that's only fair because you are air, and this is air energy, and air is very close to ether, right? It's very ungrounded energy. It's very ethereal and very ideas being ungrounded, right? For a bunch of things, maybe something that is out of your comfort zone. Even like I was seeing the face of Richard Medhurst again, so I was seeing like, you know, if you do journalism, then something completely opposite of that, which could be knitting, and you're a guy, right? But whatever you're doing, it has your soul inside, and your love and your passion. And those things are not Temu, and they're not Shein, and they're not, you know, knockoffs. I'm seeing also like people's ideas being stolen off of Etsy or off of Instagram or a bunch of platforms. And you know, beware, maybe stick to one platform and be very vocal about it. Like, you know, I only post here, and this is a linked account to my personal account, and I don't care if you know my full name, right? But I'm not just gonna be like, hey guys, it's me, because this is not about me. So yeah, when the first person cares, I'll tell you. Until then, I'll focus on myself. And that's this Libra energy, right? It's being all purified to be mastering the space between you know, earth, air, ether, astral. It's like all of these planes of atmosphere also come to your fucking demons. They also come back to you always, right? So be really careful of the energy that you put out. I got a blockade in my hand for receiving, so somebody is blocking your receptivity. Your feminine line could be, you know, your maternal line could be very significant, that needs healing still, or your maternal energies that were growing up with you, not helping you grow, are being judged, I heard. Birch is highly significant. So let me just read that and we'll end there, because it just has these, once again, Birch represents new beginnings, purification, renewal, and protection. She's the lady of the woods. She represents resilience, light, and cleansing of the spirit. In Celtic and Nordic traditions, it represents spring, growth, and the divine. And yeah, pretty much sums up everything we've said, right? Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. Everything comes from my heart and my soul, and I really can't wait for my collective to resonate and leave the beautiful comments of, you know, how you transmuted your past to being these fireballs of, you know, I'm seeing like plasma balls of fire and different colors going around the air. So it's like motes, you know, motes, M-O-T-E-S. It's like you're very enchanting. Your energy is that of a very specific ethereal energy. It's like you're an orb of plasma, of livelihood, of information, of, I don't know, just knowledge and wisdom. And I just like this energy so much. I hope you like your energy as well, because it's funky as fuck. And the universe has your back. You're getting love in your life. Hangman again. Your awareness being heightened, you traversing through yourself, is bringing you so much love. You have no idea, Libra, that with this full moon, or as you're listening to this reading, whenever you're watching, there's only going to be people around you that are making you calm and peaceful and feeling just in your feminine if you are a feminine, and in your masculine if you're a masculine. Like, they're going to adore whatever you have to say, even if it's not a topic that they necessarily grew up enjoying in school, or, you know, let's say history. Like, your next relationship, if you weren't ever fond of history, like, now you're going to be surrounded by people that are going to be able to explain history in a manner that your brain computes from both sides, and you're like interested in that person's, all they have to say. Like I am when I'm watching Richard. I'm like, I'm gonna pause this because I wanna, you know, it's like a little ritual that I have where I learn about history through somebody else's passion. And, you know, on the other side, I learn through different content, different you know, we're accumulating a bunch of knowledge from different ways of being flexible around the ether and being flexible around the internet grid and in connection and in connecting. So again, for those that resonated with, it's just a bunch of information. I'm sorry, it's so long. I should start speaking faster, like Alice. Shout out Alice, love exists, visions. So, you know, we're, for those that want to travel and want to expand their worldwide view and cultures, like me, you are going to be reciprocated from the universe. The more you connect with yourself and you self-circuit and ground, you bring this energy to reality, your passions to forms of information. I'm seeing Excel spreadsheets, I'm seeing Word documents. It's like using the free time at work, like at 9 to 5, to do your itinerary for how you're gonna quit work, right? Having your own little USB port. It's like you're using the extra time to fill yourself up back with creativity, with you're cleansed of all of these negative energies, or I'm sending you all the energy to be protected from all of these negative energies ever entering your path again, because Veni Vidi Vici, you know, we've came, we saw, shout out Brittany, Cosmic Wifey, we got the t-shirt, we conquered, we spanked some butts, we carrying on our paths to greatness, to our own royalties, to our own regalness, and to our own, I'm hearing, making our lineages proud. So this is also a collective message. If you've made it this far, this is a collective message of we are returning back to our royalty, our purity, our nakedness, our flow of femininity, our flow of mana, of body, of, you know, feeling the jaw unclench, having a different drink, right? Coffee for tea, but not a tea that is enhancing your brain power to the max, just like coffee, you know. Getting simple in a way of letting go of all the toxicities that are intoxicants one by one. We start with the ones we are the least fond of, but are still our little intoxicants, like, you know, sugar. We switch from white to brown to, you know, I don't know, demerara, muscovado, and then to coconut sugar or whatever. It's choosing the better option for your vessel and for your mind and for your energetic body, for your frequency field, right? Reconnecting with certain parts of yourself, expanding, stretching. Your footstep is being in different countries, I'm seeing as well. But first you need to recharge, because I was like, anything else, I'm kind of tired. And I looked down and I was like looking at my, I don't know if I'm just gonna push everything over, but at this little adapter of the ring light. But yeah, recharge to stay proper, especially if you have a sun in a fiery placement, or you have your ascendant in a fiery placement, but you are a sun or rising in Libra. You are the ones that are creating the most. However, it's being exerting. That's the energy that I'm feeling. It's like, oh, no rest for the wicked, right? Okay, that's gonna be all. When I do this, I'm just looking at the timer, because white wall, white timer. All white. But no matter your color, you're being purified in the essence of, speaking of the chakras, the purification of color. getting that true golden plexus, getting that true emerald heart, that sapphire throat, that, you know, sugilite or phantom amethyst, or name your favorite purple stone in the comments. Awakening of recuperating and rebalancing. I'm looking at the Temperance card. It's the fire balancing, but it's the ether coming in, it's the angels, it's the motes, it's the fairies, it's the gnomes and goblins that are doing everything for your highest good always, because you are a magical child, even though you were also a wounded child. You're not a wounded child anymore. You're not a wounded warrior anymore even. You are something else, Libra.